Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruz.
And I'm George Camel.
And this is Smart Money Happy Hour. This is the show where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. Pop culture.
Money.
Things going on.
Celebs. The latest gossip, spilling the tea.
All the things.
All the reality
here
shows.
On this podcast, including, are you ready for this?
No.
Love is Blind, a full episode dedicated to one of
Rachel's
my faves.
favorite trashy reality show on Netflix.
And there is so much money content in these episodes. We're going to dive in.
Who knew relationships and money
I
could
don't
coincide.
know, but every time I thought, yes.
Well, before we get to the hot content, let's tell them what we're drinking today and why.
We went classic. We went wine.
Red wine.
Because if you are a Love is Blind fan, they have these crazy gold goblet wine glasses, which we do not have, unfortunately.
We're not that fancy.
But they carry around these wine glasses everywhere, so wine just felt appropriate.
Very appropriate. And I chose one of my personal faves, and it's super affordable. So we'll reveal the brand, the cost, and give you our rating at the end of the episode. So stick around. But
yeah, it's
for
great.
now,
It's a red wine. Because what can you give me like the...
It's a red blend.
It's a blend. Okay, it's great.
And
I like it,
very
George.
affordable.
So good.
Can't wait. All right, let's binge some Love is Blind, Rachel.
Okay, so first let's explain what the show is for all of you that don't know and might judge me.
I want to hear how you explain it.
After.
I'm curious.
Okay, so it's a mixture of Married at First Sight, which I've not seen. It feels like that and The Bachelor, mixed together. It's a group of men, a group of women, and they are in this building, and they have these pods. So in the pod, in the middle of the room, there is a wall. So you cannot see through the wall, but you can hear. And so the man enters from one side of the wall, the woman the other side. So they're sitting in these rooms with couches, and they just talk because they can hear, but they can't see. And there's 15 of them. So they go through this speed round of dating on the first episode or two.
Getting to know each other just based off of the conversation.
That's exactly right. Yep. And then slowly but surely chemistry is formed. You know, you relate more with one person than the other. You laugh more with one person or the other. You know, you just kind of start to feel the chemistry. And then slowly but surely you kind of narrow down to the people that you really enjoy. You date them more and more in the pod. And then eventually it ends in a proposal.
This happens over a period of weeks, right?
No, I think
months?
It's 5 days.
5 days?
I think, yeah.
That really sets them up for success,
days.
Rachel.
I know. And then once you propose, then you can meet in person. So you see what the person looks like. And then from there, you go to a hotel resort thing for 4 days. And then they put you in an apartment for 2 weeks to actually live life. And you go back to your job.
There's a wedding, right?
And then at the end of the 2 weeks, there's a wedding. And then they get to the altar, and the preacher, who I don't know who these preachers are, pastors or whoever
one
they
of
are.
those internet preachers?
I don't know. But at the
All
end,
right.
it's so funny because they say, you know, you've been part of this experiment. And do you believe love is blind? Do you, Nancy, take Bartice? And then she has to say, yes, I do. I take him, and I believe that love is blind, or no. And then they get rejected on the altar. I mean, it is prime TV. It is so good.
And I've seen the ones where they say no, and it is awkward.
Oh, it's terrible. Oof. Oh, it's so terrible.
So let's get into some of the money conversations, some of the things that are said on that show. Some are crazy, some we like, and it starts with season 1 with Amber and Matt.
Yeah, but if you're a fan of Love is Blind, it's Barnett. That's what he calls himself.
Rachel, I'm going to call him Matt, all right?
Matt Barnett, but it's Barnett. It's Amber and Barnett.
Oh
and they're
my
still
gosh.
together. Can we say that, people?
That's good.
From
Spoiler
season
alert.
1, they got married, and they are still living their best lives. So there was a conversation that Amber had where she revealed that she had a makeup credit card. She had that, and then she has student loans, but she's never made payments on them.
Oh, sweet Amber. No. Don't do that.
I know. But at least they're talking, you know. They were talking about their money, figuring out what was going on. But yeah, for that teaching, we definitely want to be paying on our debt.
Yes.
In fact, paying on more so that we get debt free.
Well, there's payments, penalties, interest, fees. I mean, they can garnish your wages. There's some serious stuff that happens when you don't make payments.
I know. So I want to give Amber props, though, because she was honest. She didn't hide that.
Plus one for honesty.
Yes, but again, you want to make minimum payments, people, at least, and then hopefully more as you do the debt snowball and work your way out of debt. So well done, Amber and Barnett.
Kind of a high five, I guess. But
you know what? Their 4th wedding anniversary was November 17th.
Oh my
4
goodness.
years. They've been as married as long as you.
Yeah.
Wow. And here you are judging.
2 weeks after us.
Here you are judging, George.
Well, that has nothing to do with judgment. I still think you should make payments and not have a makeup credit card. But hey, whatever. Happy for him.
Okay, next to season 2 was Shane and Natalie.
Oh, I saw that one.
This
I
was
did
a
see
great
this
one.
season.
Yes. Okay.
Proud of myself.
We actually took this clip out and used it on the Ramsey show because it was just so good. Because Shane told Natalie that he spends like $2,000 a month on food and he doesn't really believe in 401ks.
What? Hold on. He doesn't believe in 401ks.
That's what he said.
It's not Santa Claus. It's not a belief issue. Does he?
I know he wants to live on the edge. So you have one person that's like, oh, that's so boring. You just fund your 401k. I want to take that money and do like crazy investments with it, or like
So he's just YOLO mentality. You only live once. Like,
and
why
risk,
think
and
about
probably
the
has
future?
and can take a lot of risk. Probably has a threshold of lots of
he
risk.
has that personality.
Yeah, Shane did.
I would not want to marry a personality like that.
Okay,
It's a constant live on the edge, YOLO. We'll worry about that future. Shane will worry about that. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it could be harnessed in, right? You can.
Sure.
I know. So Shane.
Well, do you believe in 401ks?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Not a conspiracy theory. Just want to make that very clear.
And it is true though. A lot of the risky investments and stuff that people think it's like an adrenaline rush of like, we're gonna live on the edge and we're gonna, do day trading and crypto and like all this like new kind of crazy investments.
Shane would.
Because if it hits, it hits big and it's like, poof. But here's the deal. It doesn't always hit. And in fact, most of the time it doesn't. You end up losing money.
Have you seen people in Vegas, Rachel? It's sad.
I know.
Oh my goodness. So there's 2 types of people here with Shane and Natalie. There's kind of the free spirit, that's Shane, and there's kind of the nerd saver, that's more Natalie. Where do you fall in the spectrum with you and Winston?
Oh, for sure the free spirit.
Mm-hmm. And Winston's the nerd saver.
Yep. Absolutely.
Wow. There's a good balance there, I think, in marriages. Like,
yeah, you're the nerd.
I'm definitely the nerd.
Is Whitney a big free spirit?
Well, I talked with Whitney about this last night, and she was like, don't you dare say that I'm just a free spirit spender, and you're... And here's the weird thing. Like, I can justify my spending if I've done my saving. It's like, I ate my vegetables, so let me have my dessert.
Do it. Because just because you're a nerd does not mean that you're a saver. And just because you're a free spirit does not mean you're a spender.
So I'm like the nerd spender, and she's like a free spirit saver.
There you go. That makes sense.
That's the kind of balance there.
Okay,
and in
that's
seasons, we'll have seasons where I'm like, whoa, all right. You're really working this budget. And there's some seasons where I'm like, I will not spend a dime, no spend month. Let's do it for fun.
Totally. Yep. I hear that. All right, next, let's move on to season 3. This last season that is on Netflix now, you guys.
Would you say it's the hottest season?
Oh, man. They're all just
better than season 2?
That's like asking me to pick between
Here's
my
what I'm
children.
asking. Is it worth
or
the people's
my favorite
time?
friend, Rachel, Monica, I don't know.
For our listeners out there, is it worth the 19 hours of their time to watch this season?
In my opinion, I love Real Housewives, Kardashians,
okay,
Bachelor. I mean, I love that.
So if you love that kind of TV,
you will love Love is Blind. I mean, you don't understand. I had people text, like I was on like multiple texting groups the night that the finale aired. Like I am very dedicated.
Wow.
Very dedicated.
If you were
and
like,
I recruit people to
were you
Love
like
is
live
Blind.
tweeting
So
the
maybe
final
all of you
episode?
listening will watch it because it is so good.
Oh my gosh. I've never seen Rachel so excited.
Okay,
this
so
is sad.
season 3. So this season had a ton of money conversations and great ones, might I add. Nancy and Bartiz. And Nancy, I'm going to give her a shout out. I really wanted her for this episode because I swear she was a Ramsey follower. When she talked about stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, you do what we teach for the most part.
Well, she follows like, I want to live a debt-free lifestyle, or
I mean,
what?
there's some, we can get into it because she had a lot of conversations, but I really appreciated her maturity around money. She's really smart with money.
Okay,
so the first, she owns 5 rental properties. Now, they do have mortgages on them. So when we talk about real estate, we do say to cash flow those when it's investment real estate. But she goes through and renovates them all with cash.
Wow.
Yes.
Go Nancy.
I know. So she's
like that part.
really diligent about it. But again, we don't recommend multiple mortgages. The risk that you take on with having multiple lines, of credit and debt and all that. We do teach a debt-free lifestyle. So if you want to get into real estate investing, you got to have the cash for it, which means you're probably going to be buying a foreclosure or a short sale. You're going to start small, but you can build quickly. That's the great thing about real estate is you get to build quickly on it by having that passive income. But I do applaud her. She's doing all the renovations in cash. So it's impressive. When she said that, she was like, I have 5 rental properties and I'm doing this and this and this because she's a speech pathologist by trade, by her day job. And she's doing this investing on the side. I know.
Love the work ethic. Yeah, I mean, your dad, Dave Ramsey, famously went bankrupt back in the 80s, kind of doing what she's doing here, flipping houses, real estate investing before Chip and Jo made it cool. And the bank called the notes. Mm-hmm. And he had about $4 million worth of real estate and had to file bankruptcy because he couldn't pay them back fast enough with these old school loans they were giving. And so this is very dangerous. And this place is built on that story and on this principle of if you've got debt, you've got risk in your life. And so do it slow. Pay off your own mortgage, invest with property, with cash, even if it takes longer, because you will sleep better at night.
That's right. All right, Nancy gave us another great teaching moment. So her and her ex were in this real estate investing together.
Oh,
so
boy.
He's on the mortgage too.
This can't end well.
Yeah, he's on the mortgage too. So Bartise did ask a great question because he was like, so what if he stops paying? Is he trustworthy? Because if he stops paying, then it's on you, which if we get married, it's on us.
Everyone's trustworthy until they're an ex, Rachel.
I know. So everyone hold your breath. I know. So again, it's not recommended. If you're not married, don't be on a loan with someone. Don't co-sign. I mean, even if it's your brother, like anybody, do not go into debt and put your name on debt with somebody else.
We've seen too many stories where this goes south. It hurts
terrible.
relationships. People are put in a bind because if they don't pay, guess who's on the hook?
That's right.
You. Whew.
We've heard lots of
Can I
stories
call
around
him
that.
Bart?
No, it's Bartise.
You said Matt Barnett goes by Barnett. I'm like, does he go by Bart?
No, he goes by Bartise.
Okay, fine. I'm just trying
I
here,
know.
Rachel. I'm really trying.
I really appreciate your effort on this episode because this was 100% for me. So
Like Rachel loves Love is Blind.
I really
saw
appreciate
season 2.
it.
I did. It was a fun show to watch. I will admit.
Thank
For the
you.
guys out there, if you're on the fence, watch it with your wife. You'll get brownie points.
There you go. Okay, last teaching point from Nancy because she just had great ones.
Nancy's really coming in clutch
So
for you.
Nancy, she and she was older than Bartise. Okay, so Bartise was like in his mid-20s. She was in her early 30s, I think.
Wow.
And again, think about Nancy. She's been working full time. She has real estate, 5 rental properties. She's renovating with cash. She's moving and shaking. And she said to him, well, when I get married, all of this is yours. Like together we share this.
Wow.
It is our money. That's how I view it. When I get married to someone, it is ours. And Bartise is like
very Rachel
25
Cruz.
and he's like, oh, okay.
He's so taken aback
That
by
sounds
this.
great. Yeah. So I do applaud her for that. I mean, that's that mindset. I
That's
really
one
appreciate.
of our most controversial takes is combining bank accounts and it's our money now. And people are like, no, you should never do that. That's terrible.
Yep.
Freedom, independent, like, oh my gosh.
Oh, we get that so much. No, when you get married, you are one in every aspect of your marriage, including your money. And the couples that win that we talked to on the Ramsey show, it's the couples that are like, yeah, we're doing this together. Like all of the money goes in one pot. We have the same goal. We are working towards one.
So true.
I don't know. It's like independence is applauded in our culture. So even when you get married, it's like, oh, good, you have your own money over here. That's good. That's good. I'm like, I think it's
Well,
shallow.
number one, you're not communicating as well. If it's kind
Yeah.
of my money and her money, she does what she wants. We don't have to talk about it. And number 2, the financial infidelity can happen where not only do we not talk about it, I didn't even know that this account was open or this card was open and what the spending was doing. Oh,
and that secrecy.
It's a very
I hate
immature mentality, I think, too.
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
You can share a bed. You can share a bank account.
Woo!
Let's just say it like that.
Dang.
All right, episode 6.
This is still Nancy.
We're staying on Nancy.
Every episode, Nancy's bringing some money talk.
So they end up meeting parents on the show. Okay, so after they live together in this apartment, that's when they start to meet the families and friends. So Bartise goes to Nancy's mom's house, and they go to meet the mom. And Nancy's mom straight up asks him, she's like, do you have any debt? Because we don't do debt here. We don't owe people money.
Now we know where Nancy got it from.
I was like, whoa, Mom, whoa, mom, coming in hot. So I got to agree with her. So
Now, would that be a deal breaker if Winston had proposed and he talked to Dave and Dave was like, you got any debt? And Winston's like, I got some student loans. Would he be like, no, you can't marry my daughter?
No, I can't.
That wouldn't be that aggressive.
No, and I think it's the attitude behind it. I mean, I think that if you have separate values, that's one thing.
What are the views on this debt? Is it, I want to just keep it hanging around, or no, I'm trying to pay it off?
Yeah. I think it's a values conversation at that point, for sure.
So for everyone listening out there, it's okay to marry someone if they have debt. But if they have a different value system that says, I love leveraging debt, I want to stay in debt forever, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, because it's going to create conflict and tension in your marriage. And so you just got to know that going in. And it's like, is it worth it? Because money fights money problems. One of the leading causes of divorce in America.
That's
so
right.
you got to be aware, people. Be aware. All right, next. Sorry, we're staying on Nancy and Bartise. There was just
Goodness
a lot
gracious.
of money conversations.
We
with them.
should have had Nancy on the show.
So when I know I tried to get her, I just
she's too big time for us now, probably.
She is huge right now. I mean,
it's crazy how these people become celebrities overnight.
Oh, they're like, if I saw a Love is Blind, I would freak out more if I saw a Love is Blind person in the wild or a Real Housewife than like majority of like singers and stuff.
If it's like, hey, Taylor Swift,
I'd be like,
or
hey, Miranda
Bartise.
Lambert.
You're choosing Bartise.
If I saw I think I'm like, oh my God, there's Bartise.
Wow. Your
Oh
bar
my gosh,
is very
there's
low.
Dorit from Real Housewives of Beverly
Okay.
Hills. Oh my gosh, if I ever saw Dorit.
Is that your favorite? What's her name? I couldn't hear it over the shrieking. Who is this?
Dorit
Dorit?
from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's fabulous.
Is she fabulous? Or is it like in a dramatic
All
reality
the
show
things, but she's
way?
so cute. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
She's everything I'm not. She's like full on designer, glam squad, and I'm
I
just
don't
like,
even want to know what a glam squad is. I want no part of
okay,
this.
let's keep going.
Okay, so Nancy has got more money combos in episode 7.
Okay,
What's
yeah.
this one?
So Nancy talks to Bartisa's family, and she talks about how important it is to pay off Bartisa's debt very quickly once they get married.
Love it.
And he's like, well, I just feel like we should enjoy life. Like, I like all my hard-earned money. I don't know if I just want to put towards debt. I kind of want to experience life. So that's the thing.
Please don't tell me they ended up together. What happened to them?
Do you want to know what happened? Shoot, should I ruin it? Okay, skip this part. Mute me if you're going to watch it.
Go forward 30 seconds if you don't want to know what
here
happens.
we go.
Go.
They get to the altar. Nancy says yes. Bartise says no. And then Nancy's brother almost beat up Bartise. And I was like, let him fight. But they didn't. They held him back. And then Nancy's mom was just like, in Bartise's face. And Bartise's like, dude, this is our time. Oh, it was so good.
My goodness.
It was
Do you think this is planned?
No. This is like real.
Wow.
Every show is real.
Okay.
Every reality show.
Well, if you skip that, you missed out on some juice there. So make sure you go watch the show. But the key here is they're not on the same page with debt. And you got to decide, am I willing to work together on this, or are we willing to move forward in spite of this, or is this too big of a red flag? We need to pause until we figure this out.
All right, up next we have Alexa and Brendan. Brennan? I guess is how you pronounce
Brennan.
it. Okay. Here's a fascinating one. Her dad wanted a prenup.
Alexa's dad was like, hey, if you get married, you got to have a prenup.
You got to have a prenup.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then you see their life, and you're like, oh, that's why. Because she is, well,
They're very wealthy.
From what appearances would say. But we know, doing our work, George, we know that debt makes you look a whole lot better than you actually are.
You can have fancy house, fancy car, and be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
We don't know. We don't know. Not saying
Okay.
that that's her story. I don't want to put that on her. But from the looks of it, they got money. So,
And so part of that prenup is to protect the wealth.
I would
that they
assume,
built.
I
Okay.
guess. But I don't know if they ever did or not. But that was a conversation that was had. What do you think about prenups, George?
I think if there's a wild disparity between the families, like one is super wealthy and one person makes $1 million, the other one makes, $40,000, there is some wisdom. And not because of a trust issue, but more because of family drama.
Yeah.
That can happen around when things go sour.
If they go south. Yeah.
Yes. So in general, I'm not a fan of them, but there are situations, not if one person makes 50, the other one makes 70. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a crazy amount of wealth versus the average person.
Yep. I used to be hardcore against them no matter what. I was like, nope. And then you get into it because, if again, on an extreme standpoint, like what you're saying, like if you own stock in a family company or something and you get divorced and the ex-husband has say into the family bit, like, do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like there could be some weird stuff I could see.
That's true.
So in certain specific situations, I agree with you.
But it's a matter of intention and motive behind it as well.
Yes.
Versus just the numbers.
Yeah, if you got married and the dude's like, I gotta have a prenup because I gotta protect my Mustang, or I don't know why Mustang came to my head, but like a car or something.
That
I'd be
accent, that kind of imitation, that guy definitely has a Mustang.
Yeah.
I got a Mustang, dude. You gotta make sure. She doesn't
So if
get half
that's the
her
case, I'm
Mustang.
like, heck no. That means you love, the car more. No. But again, it's this like very extreme situation.
Okay, so what happened with this prenup situation? Did it work
I don't
out for
know.
him?
I don't know if they never showed it, but they talked about it. So I thought that was interesting.
Well, you want to give us the spoiler? Did they get married?
Yes.
Wow.
They did. And they seem so happy.
That's good. At least they seem happy.
They seem
But then,
happy.
like, next season, it's like, update. They're no longer together.
Well, they did the reunion and they are still together.
Okay. Good.
We'll see. Hey, love is blind, George. Love is blind.
Sure.
Okay, up next we have Raven and SK. So they were a cute couple. Now he had to go to LA for 2 years for school in California. She was staying in, or was it Dallas? I think Dallas. And so she was saying, well, if we get married, you're going to pay for my apartment in Dallas.
Oh.
Help pay for it. So starts to beg the question, oh my gosh, are you really going to be separated for 2 years of marriage? That doesn't work.
No.
That's
a long distance marriage for 2 years to kick it off?
Terrible idea. But also it's like, okay, if you're going to be in this marriage together, we talk about combining finances, and it's not an entitlement thing, but it's, hey, we're on the same team conversation. But it's still weird to think about.
So
you're
she's
paying,
living full-time in Dallas. He's not. And she's like, hey, you need to pay half my rent before married.
No, what do we think about that? Because
that's the whole situation. I think the principle of it is a no for me. If Whitney was like, hey, I'm going to live in a different city for 2 years.
And you should pay for half my rent.
It's not about paying half the rent. It's like, well, this marriage isn't going to work long distance.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
That's called common sense, George.
Woo.
All right, George, that's it. That was a lot.
That was a roller coaster of emotion for me. Goodness
How are you
gracious.
feeling right now?
I need more wine at this point. I get why they drink so much wine on that show. It's like, oh, I have to make life-altering decisions in 4 days. Where's the wine?
I know. It's such a great show, though.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, it's a great social experiment, if nothing else.
Yes, I agree.
And it may be nothing else.
And you know what? I have no skin in the game except for a few hours of my life watching it. So I can from a distance have my thoughts. But
So you're saying you're not going to look back with regret on your life like I spent 19 hours watching Love is Blind?
No.
I could have been doing something else.
No.
There's nothing you would have rather been doing.
I read my book. I do everything I want to do. And
you
then
do read a lot of books. I will say Rachel is very productive and she's very intentional with her watching.
I am intentional with my time. I really am. I put down my phone. And so I'm like, okay, if I have the time, I want to just binge Love is Blind. And so I did one day. I just binged it. And it was great.
I love it.
It was so great.
So a lot of lessons here about money and relationships. for
Everything.
sure.
You're on the same team when you're married. Debt is a no-go in a sense of like, get yourself out of debt.
Have the same values when it comes to money.
Yep.
There's some other things you should have similar values on, like family. Like, do we want kids?
Yes.
And probably politics in a sense of like a rough,
Yeah. Do we see life the
You
same?
can still make it
makes
work.
it easy. Yes. I
Yeah.
would say it makes it easier the more aligned you are in values.
Yes.
It's not a make or break 100% of the time.
And opposites do attract.
Yeah.
And a lot of times. So, but you've got to be able to talk about money. You've got to be willing to combine finances if you want it to work. And you have to be doing a budget together and don't let one person manage the money. That is always a dangerous situation. Well, he manages the money or she manages the money and I just get my allowance. Oof.
Yeah. Oof.
That's a tough one for me.
Oof. Yeah.
When you get an allowance as an adult.
That's a recipe for disaster.
And set financial goals as a couple. And I know you and Winston do this on your anniversaries. And you'll say, hey, where do we want the next, 5 years to look like? 10 years out this year. And so I think it keeps couples together when they're on the same page, heading in the same direction.
Working
and
towards the
checking in
same
with each
goal.
other.
It's great. Yep.
And don't be afraid of counseling. Can we just put that out there?
Oh my gosh.
Like, you don't have to be in crisis mode to go to counseling as a couple.
Do therapy. It's great because you just know you understand why you're doing the things. Oh, we could have a whole episode on it because it is. It's really, It's really insightful, and it helps, I think, have a healthier marriage.
Yes. And for those that they're going, hey, my spouse, my girlfriend, not on the same page, we have found that Financial Peace University truly is one of the best ways to get someone on the same page. That's our money course, 9 lessons, and it creates this like common shared language. It creates conversations you normally wouldn't have, and it gets you talking
Here's an
about
idea.
this stuff.
Have a date night. Watch the first episode of Love is Blind and watch the first lesson of Financial Peace University.
I love it. Spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
So great. All right, it's almost the end of the episode, and we like to close out every episode with Guilty as Charged.
Guilty as charged. It needed that energy, Rachel.
Thank you.
So this is where our producer, Lindsay, gives us a new guilty as charged question, and we've got to take a drink if we've done it, and then give you the context behind the answer. What do you got for us, Lindsay?
All right. Have you ever bought yourself a gift after being disappointed with gifts you had been given?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah, I'm drinking to
one.
that.
Because
Okay.
not everyone's a great gift giver, and that's okay.
It's less for me about a gift, like bad gifts. Sometimes when I get a lot of great gifts, I'm like, and then I can get this on top of that to do this and that. It spurs my imagination, and I can end up spending money after I get gifts.
Wow.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means you're a terrible person.
It means you just
That's
like
normal.
things. It's exciting.
You just like things.
I do.
For me, it's more, I think, technology. I'm very specific. And so people are like, oh, he loves music. Well, let's get him a Bluetooth speaker. And it's like, the off-brand whatever speaker. I'm like, no, I need the Bose SoundLink 2 Mini. Like, what are we doing here?
Bougie.
You know what I mean? And so I have specific standards for things. And so I've gotten that before, where I got like a Bluetooth speaker, and I was like, this is a very thoughtful gift, like in the right lane. But again, like I don't expect someone to spend $200 on a speaker for me either.
Sure. Fair.
And so a lot of gifts you're going to buy someone are $20 to $50, and a lot of the items that I would want, I'm like, I'm saving up, I'm budgeting for it, and I'm going to spend $150 on it. So that's happened before. No shame to the gift giver. Always appreciate generosity. And I keep it most of the time. Unless they give me the receipt and they're like, hey, if you don't like it, go return it. And I always appreciate that too.
I do too. That's fair.
So mad respect to those that leave the receipt.
Well, I think I finished my glass
You did.
faster than yours.
Well, I mean, this was a juicy episode for you. This was
so
your
good.
life's work.
This was
digging into Love is Blind money lessons.
I
So
really, I
thank you
loved
for your
this
ministry.
episode. I'm a servant at heart, so that's what I do. I give.
Well, let's talk about the drink. What rating would you give this wine? And then I'll tell you how much it was.
I thought it was great. Gosh, I'm gonna say a 8 out of 10.
Wow.
I thought it was a
I'm going
really.
to go 8 out of 10 as well.
I'm gonna go great glass of wine.
So here's what it is. The cost breakdown, $1.59 a glass. Because it is $6.99 for the entire
Wow.
bottle. The brand is called Epicuro. How do I say that?
Please do it. Just
I
do
don't
it.
know either. You're gonna have
Hooked
to
on
just go
phonics.
for it.
Go. You got it.
Epicuro Aglianico.
That was pretty.
That feels right.
And actually, this was under the Italian Reds, so I really feel like you executed that well.
That's a lot of syllables. So this was a great wine sold at Trader Joe's, one of my favorites. And they have a lot of affordable wines at Trader Joe's. And so don't go spending, $60 a bottle when you can get it for $6.99. So especially if you're having friends over to watch Love is Blind,
Yep.
go pick you up a nice bottle. And the Trader Joe's employees are so nice. Ask them. Say, hey, what's a great red wine? And they'll be like,
They're
oh, my
so
favorite
helpful.
is this. And
Yep.
oh, it's so great. So,
So great.
check it out. You can find links, ratings, all of that in the show notes, and sip on it while you watch your next favorite reality show.
Yep.
Just get the gold wine glass.
I want
To
one
match.
so bad. If anyone has connections, please send it to me.
This is
Just
so
look up
Rachel.
Ramsey Solutions address and ATT
Send Rachel the
'cause
gold wine
I
glass
will-
from Love is Blind.
Oh my gosh.
Put something in there for me.
Because
while
they
you're
had
at
an
it.
influence. Can I tell you this? They had an influencer box that someone sent me. They DM'd me and they're like, look. And I clicked on it. It was another girl, an influencer girl. And she got a Love is Blind package to her door from the show. And she opened it and had the 2 gold wine glasses, all this stuff. And I thought, oh my gosh, should I be an influencer to get this box? How do I get this
Wow.
box?
Okay. I really hope this happens for you, Rachel. I'm manifesting
Golly.
it for you.
I know. Next season 4, it's really my year.
All right, as we wrap here, if you like this episode and you don't want to miss another one, be sure to subscribe and follow. You can also follow us on social media at Rachel Cruz and at George Camel with a K. And if you know a friend who loves this show and would find this episode interesting, be sure to send it to them or listen to it with them with a glass of wine.
That's right. Well, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next Thursday for a new episode of Smart Money Happy Hour.